Hey guys, happy Monday. If you're in the Bay Area, it's going to be a hot one today. So, this is for California Notary Signing Agents as well as the companies who hire them, specifically signing services. You guys, I'm seeing a lot of independent contractor agreements come over from signing services that are asking notaries to do things that are not legal in the state of California. California has extremely strict independent contractor laws. So that means when you are hiring a California independent contractor, you cannot be acting as an employer. You cannot order them to dress a certain way. You cannot micromanage their schedule. You cannot make notary signing agents responsible for the contents of the documents. Let's just redefine for everybody so that we're all on the same page what a notary signing agent's function is. It is to usually bring people the documents that they've already reviewed if they don't have those documents already in their possession, then present those documents to them for signature, date, and initial, and then take those documents and send them back to whomever the requesting party is. That's it, you guys. Notaries are not supposed to be reading closing statements or closing disclosures before appointments and then instructing to signers what funds, if any, to bring to the closing table and how. That is for the escrow company. It is frustrating for a lot of notary signing agents right now because gone are the pandemic times where, during times like that, people are playing fast and loose. It becomes like a trendy profession where, people did make a lot of money. But now, as a lot of things become unsustainable and people are burnt out because they're being asked to do things that they're not responsible for doing. So I know a lot of people in the notary signing world do feel like they're taken advantage of because they're being asked to do things that are not their job to do. It is the loan agent's job to go over lender documents to make sure that loan amounts, interest rates, payments, whether or not there's an impound account, all that specific stuff, that is not the notary signing agent's job. While yes, they are trained to know what a deed of trust looks like, and maybe even what the general functions of these documents are. But this is what should not be happening. A notary signing agent shouldn't be showing up at a client's home, we call them signers, at a signer's home or wherever the signing location is, and then that signer is seeing those documents for the first time and going like, oh, I don't know about this, I don't, and they're just like overwhelmed. And then, which is like extra, I don't know, I don't even know how to say it, but then they're feeling pressured to sign, which is coercion. And I don't want to say that, companies take advantage of that and then just schedule these appointments with notaries saying, oh, you're going to be signing with the notary and the notary's going to go over all the documents with you. Nope. Notary's going to present documents to you for your signature, initial, and the date. And that appointment really should only be taking about 30 minutes because you've already seen these documents. There should never be a reason that your name on the documents doesn't match the name on your ID, or that there's a misspelling in your name or anything in these documents. A notary is not able to do anything about that. We don't know anybody in your transaction. We only work for ourselves. We are neutral third parties who don't know any of the details of your transaction. I mean, not only do we not know, we can't know. We're not responsible for that. That is a liability. So I really feel like the folks, like a lot of escrow officers, certainly signing services and loan agents, maybe they don't know. Maybe they just don't know any better because this industry has just become like, very vague. And I feel like not everybody is playing, with the same set of rules, that they just think, oh, the notary signing agent. Maybe they hear the word signing agent and it somehow sounds like, more glorified, or like closing agent. Oh, it's our job to, go through these documents with people and explain them. No, no, having a signing agent certificate doesn't change the fact that notaries are still notaries, and they have to abide by notarial law first and foremost, which means that they're not responsible for the contents. Signing services, we cannot force people. I mean, this is not just for signing services, for everybody. We can't force people to sign a certain kind of way, especially in California. That's literally it. We're not allowed to do that. We can relay instructions saying, hey, the lender wants you to sign exactly as it says on the line. But if they sign with a scribble, like I do, my signature is unintelligible. So, and that's the way I sign. That's the way I'll always sign. No matter what somebody tells me, that's my legal signature. That's what's on my ID. And that's what you're getting, period. End of story. So I really hate the fact that people are just not aware because, and this is probably for every industry, so much relies on one person doing everybody else's job. So, just a heads up, you guys, check this stuff with California independent contractor laws, especially if you're a California independent contractor. And all the companies hiring California independent contractors, you have to abide by those state laws as well. So if you're asking anybody to sign any agreements in California, run it through California law. I mean, stick it in some version of ChatGPT, and, make sure you're asking people to do things that are legal. We all want to be aware of the rules so that we're all abiding by the law and doing the right thing. And then you're not over stressing notaries to where, or anybody in any industry, to where they're burnt out and they don't want to do it anymore because it's an unsustainable system, right? I mean, that's why it's a great job to do if you're just doing your job. If you're doing 3 other people's jobs and then you're also not getting paid, 3 times as much, you're not going to be doing it for very long, right? We need to set our expectations fairly. All right. Okay, you guys, have a good day.